Modeling panels, especially something that you'd see in a car or a spaceship or anything like that, inside a Blender can be really difficult. But in today's video, I'm going to show you a really simple set of tools that will help you make any sort of panels or any other organic shapes inside of Blender. So let's just hop straight in.
So this example is going to work well, especially when it comes to modeling stuff such as car-like parts or the panels that come with it. So let me just hop in and show you exactly what I mean. So for example, if I grab a plane and if we're going to be making some sort of shape along the side, it doesn't matter too much. But basically, if we go grab this, pull it down, bring it to like something over here, do the same thing over there. Let's just get this shape and yeah, we good here. Let's just go add edge group and we can subdivide this. And then I'm basically just going to take this and then extrude down. Okay. Let me just go delete these vertices. Okay. Now, from here, what our goal is to go get whatever shape we need from these. And we can add as many vertices we want. And this is going to be very useful, especially when it comes to stuff like getting the extra curves. So if you're working with a lot of references, this is when it's going to be quite useful. So there, but you just have to kind of bear in mind where each bit is supposed to go and kind of, it has to be, I'll show you kind of what I mean, but basically you have to have the same amount of vertices on each side of the mesh. So if we start out here, so now we have 4 on this end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So obviously, if right now, if we take this, go Control F and grid fill, you can see that it's not actually going to work. So if we take these two, you can see it basically just ends up throwing an error. But if I go add in an edge group like this, or I think this kind of needs to be joined up together. So maybe we go add one right here, and then this can go here, and then this one can pop up here. If I take this, go grid fill, you can see that now we're getting a result. Now, if I take the span and change it to a different number, so what you have to do is actually get the correct amount. So over here, it's 4. So let's go to 4, and then we could change the offset. That might not work. Let's go drop it down to a 2, and then rotate it. That's still kind of working. Yeah, there we go. So that is a good result, but I don't know what the hell happened to this. So let's bring that down and line this up a bit better. So we bring that down there. That should go there. And maybe just get a couple more edges going along here. So we can go Control R, add some edge groups in here. We can also use another add-on called the Loop Tools add-on to use the curve function. So to enable that, we can go Edit Preferences Add-ons and then just look for Loop Tools over here. If it's not over here, just go to Get Extensions and look for it there. But basically, if we select between, we can hold Control, and that's how you can select between them. So you see right here, these are quite spread out quite unevenly. So if I go Control F, actually, you have to right click, I think, Loop Tools, and we can use the space, or we can also use the relax. Okay, and you see that gives us a lot nicer curve right here. And we can use the same thing over here, and also it just helps in terms of keeping everything spaced out quite well and giving us a better result. So let's just double check. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we select this Control F grid fill, and you see here we are getting a much nicer result. Now we have to go Control N, Shift N, recalculate our normals, and we could also, before we did that, we could also have added some more edge groups over here if we wanted. So we could just add a subtle curve over there, add another edge group here. Maybe I think that should maybe go up to there, and then give it a nice curve there. And you see that grid fill again. I think now this is getting messed up slightly, so maybe change the offset. Or did we mess up the count? So we go between here. So let's just turn our statistics on. So that's 5 vertices. That's 5 vertices. That's 5 vertices. And that is 5 vertices. So it should be fine. Grid fill. And yeah, you can see now it works. Again, Shift N to recalculate. And yeah, you see we can go subdivide this if we want now. But basically, this is a very good way of quickly making good pieces inside of Blender. Now, one other way where this is basically a lot, it was quite useful, is basically when you're working with a lot longer of parts of your car. Now, if we were to make something like this part right over here that needs to go all the way along the car, trying to get that and had a consistent smooth like going between that is going to be an absolute nightmare. But if we just go rotate this on the y-axis like this and go place it in the corner and then that corner, then we can go here and then we go drag it along to here like this. Okay, and we can just go pull it in to there and then grab this vertice, pull it over there and then pull it over here. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go add an edge loop in the middle and we can go pull this out a little bit, give it a nice curve. And then what we can do is if we just go to delete that edge, we can go give it whatever shape we want the curve to be. So if we just go pull out like some edges like this, we can just go pull it over here and then pull that up as well. You see, give us a nice curve, and this is going to be as complex as you want. And we can do the same thing over here. And then I'm just going to go, so exaggerate it slightly, and we can just go bevel, and then I'm just going to scroll up to something like this, and then we can go to the other end. If we want, this could be obviously higher poly, but we just go add 3 vertices. But the power of this is we can do whatever shape we want. So we can make it flat, and if we take this down, go Control F, grid fill, you can see how that works. So that's just the wrong settings. So grid fill again. So this needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go change that to 5. And then we can just change the offset until it works. So that looks a bit messed up, but see what is happening. So we go 5 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe just the offset was off. I think there we go. That's no. This might just have something to do with these edges being kind of further away from each other. But I guess if you just modeled it with a slightly different method, it would work a little bit better. But yeah, let me pull these out a little bit. Select it, Control F, grid fill. And there we are getting a pretty clean result. And obviously if we went and took this and subdivided like these edges right here, might work even better. But if we go grid fill and we go shift N, recalculate, and we can go smooth this out, you can see now we have a pretty good transition over to being flat. Now obviously we can go use this further and further and further, but this is going to be a really good tool to be able to model different panels like this a lot easier than if you weren't going to be using this method. Getting this curve to go all the way along, and if I show you now, taking this out and making it even more of a thing where if we had this going even the opposite way, like this, and then maybe let's just add some extra edge loops along here. We probably just use a subdivision on this, but oh well. So there, take this Control F, grid fill, and you can see how it can transition between the two for us and ends up with a very nice smooth panel very easily, which would be an absolute nightmare to model. Hold on real quick. If you want to learn more about modeling inside of Blender and want to be able to work directly with me, get feedback, and join a community of other people, you can go check the first link in the description to go join the 3D Modeling Academy. The first 10 people to sign up can get in for $5 a month, and after that, the price will be raising. So join while you still can. Yeah, and there you go. There is a quick little modeling tool topology trick inside of Blender. And if you want another one, click over here to learn more about modeling inside of Blender.